Welcome to the channel, everybody. Now today I have a Scum 0.95 and beyond news and updates video for you all. So this is going to be covering a massive patch. We're going to get through it as quickly as possible, and then later today there'll be a further video going through all the lovely new features that have come in. Right then, let's jump straight in, shall we? And there have been a lot of changes, and the first one, and more importantly, Horde changes. Let's start with the one most of you want to hear about. We did some heavy tweaking around Horde behavior, specifically in high threat zones. This includes tweaking spawners, refresh rate, and a lot of bug fixing around edge cases. Not everything is solved, but we did a big pass on it and we are positive in our testing. But as always, you can test it in a much better capacity than we can. But as always, you can all test it in a much better capacity than we can. So we are still looking into your feedback regarding it. For more details, check the bug fixes. We also adjusted mid-threat zones a bit as well, with more to come on them in the future. So there will be some issues with them now, as the HTZ was the priority, but do not worry, they are in our sights as well. Do note that we are testing and adjusting the Hordes according to official settings. If you crank the puppets up, this will most likely still break, so use that at your own risk. Right, so a few things here. I did play a little bit for, about 2.5–3 hours this morning, doing some series recording things, and I have to say that the spawners are a lot better. Alright, I didn't go into any underground areas, but I have seen other creators do so, and it's worked out a lot better for them. So I think there have been some major improvements with it. As they've said themselves, there's still some things to come to it. They are still adjusting things, and obviously they are going on the basis of official server settings. Alright, so just as they said, bear that in mind if you are an admin or a server owner and you're bumping these Hordes up and stuff. Just play it little by little and see how it goes. If it bugs out, then obviously send them a bug report so they get a better idea about it. Alright. Right then, so we're going to move on to bug fixes, and I'm just going to go through and highlight the more important ones on here because it is a very large list, okay? I'll do the same with quality of life stuff as well. So, some big ones here: encounter characters, puppet, wildlife should no longer instantly respawn after being killed. Foundation's walls can't overlap anymore. Players no longer can disassemble event weapons inside events. Fix a bug where users were sometimes unable to make a selection of telemetry or survival tip settings. That's a big one, especially for, beginners and new players. It's really going to help them out. There's a possible fix for authentication failure when trying to connect to some servers. Again, that's a big one, but it is a possible fix. So if you are still having issues, just remember, send a bug report over. It gives the devs a wider sort of view of what's going on. All right. There's one here that says fix a bug with the game crashing after pressing Alt F4 just after landing. Now, if I hit Alt F4 at any point, it's going to close my game down. So I'm not quite sure what they mean by that, but yeah. Fix an issue that would cause constant login onto a server when a player would stand on a garden plant. Fix the issue where for flag of a specific raid protection, flag time could not be set after the flag was created. Correct cook time displayed in recipe info UI based on cooking skill level. Another good one there because the cooking has been a little bit bugged out for some time now. So it is nice to see that they are starting to sort some bugs out with that. Fix the bunker logout timer that was displaying 60 seconds instead of the intended amount. Fixed incorrect FP requirements for buying a Rager at Mechanic Trader. Fix the issue where disinfected rag would still display regular rag icon in inventory vicinity UI. Now, I have noticed with this one, when you're dragging it around in the vicinity, it still looks like a rag. If you place it in your vicinity, your inventory, or your hand, it then goes back into, an actual antiseptic rag. Fix issues where newly created squad would not be displayed in the squad listings. Fixed an issue where bases that were built while the raid protection server setting was none would not be protected when raid protection activates. Fixed multiple SFX issues. Fixed the issue where puppets would keep spawning over and over in the same place in some cases. And fixed the issue where puppets would spawn back too quickly in the HTZ. Now, they're obviously the main ones that I just want to go through. Now, again, I will say, like I do every week, if you come across any bugs, there is now an in-game report section. So if you just hit escape while you're in game, it will just say report illegal content, and it will open up the actual reporting section on their website for you. Okay, so you can just report it quickly, close it down, and then get back into the game. Very, very easy now. Right, now we're going to move on to quality of life, and as I said, I'm just going to run through and go through this very, very quickly. Alright, so reduced FP requirement for Barber. Vehicles can trigger mines owned by prisoners again. Shortened titles of hair and facial hair related descriptions in character creation. Nerfed wooden barricade HP. Shortened titles of Barber UI descriptions. Lowered upper limit of several encounter manager character spawning perimeters. Adjusted revolver aim down sight animation time. Adjusted squad money penalty per previous squad's member description for clarity. Reduced HP of barbed wire barricade. Adjusted SFX for barbed wire destruction. The flamethrower is now properly blocked when something is in front of the nozzle. Players can no longer go prone with a flamethrower in their hands. Added SFX for fishing line handling in inventory. Increased Barber inventory capacity. Base building elements can't be placed on gardens and trees anymore. Lowered the FP requirement for flare gun cartridges. The motorbike battery is now rechargeable. Adjusted FP requirements for dirt bike wheels. Fig is now correctly in the fruit section at the saloon trader. Adjusted warmth factor for Raymond Cruz boots and pants. Removed passive drain from batteries and smartphone battery. Renamed the lift at the mechanic trader to vehicle lift. Adjusted spawning perimeters for parts that will spawn on the dirt bike. Vehicle horn will now cause noise that triggers puppets. Added inventory space to Raymond Cruz boots. Implemented raid end announcement. Added sounds for CD player handling and duct tape repair. Added trader service BPs for modular dirt bike attachments. Implemented check server time command. Global raid protection raid times are now displayed after each message of the day. Increased grenade fuse time. Permadeath can now effectively be turned off for all players by setting the threshold to a very big number. Vehicle attachments meshes will now morph depending on their health. Restricted BB in caves. Added the game report button. Added gameplay log for flag specific and offline raid protections. Chests will now count as base elements when dropped in the flag area. Disabled burying of chests in enemy flag area. Implemented chest ownership logging with the corresponding server setting. Prices are now by default no longer subject to player counts. Increase the time required in HTZ for new puppets to spawn back in. And they have implemented global raid protection on official servers. Raid protection will be active from midnight till 8 AM. So lovely to see a very, very big list here for quality of life updates, and there are some amazing ones here. There is one that I do have a slight issue with, and it is adding inventory space to Raymond Cruz boots. Now, I've never really had an issue with these characters coming in, these DLC characters, because I know, like, you get like a knife or you get a machete with one of them, but like it's a knife at the end of the day. Like I can craft one of them. Like I can craft a sword, I can craft a stone knife, an axe in 2 minutes. You know, it's not the point. But when you start then adding extra inventory space to these characters, that's when it's a bit, you know, I get a bit like with it, because it starts to go onto the pay to win side. You know. I never really saw them as pay to win at first because they don't give a massive advantage, and they do have disadvantage to them, like the voice acting, the voice lines and stuff like that, which obviously can be heard by other characters, or other players I should say. But then yeah, as you start adding these sort of things to them, that's when I start sort of seeing a bit of an issue with it. So hopefully they take that out. I don't think that should be in that character DLC, but you know, we'll see where that goes with that. Other than that though, some amazing quality of life features that have been added into this that really do help us out. So some great work here from the devs, some great work. Now we're going to move on to server settings, and they've implemented global raid protection server setting, new vehicle destruction log, flying vehicle detection log, and implemented abandoned bunker armory reset setting. The limit for the raid times is set to 50 different entries. This means you can have 50 raid times set up every day, even if in the same string will count as one entry. Example, day, Monday, Wednesday, Friday will count as 3 different entries. By default, active raid times and days will be displayed with the welcome message and with the message of the day. If nothing is set in the raid times, section for bases will not be active. If there is any issue with the raid times configuration, error messages will be displayed in the raid protection log. The same day can be used in different raiding times entries unless it has overlapping times, also shown in the example below. Now, if you are like an admin or a server owner and you want to look through all these settings and go through it, it is all on Steam on the dev update, on the patch notes. If you go and read it, you can read through it all there. I'm not going to go through it myself, just because I know a lot of you don't actually own your own servers, so not much point. But again, if you're an owner and you want to look at it, you know where to find it. All right. Now, let's move on to abandoned bunker armory setting. It is by default on, which means you will have loot in the armory only on activation by either natural activation or by a keycard. If you want it to be like it was before, change it. All right, so you type in this and it will change it. True works either way, but if you want to reset, loot there. All right, pretty simply, if you want the loot to be spawned in how it was before in those armories, then there's a way of changing it back now. Now, last night there was a emergency sort of hotfix that came out, and basically, hey everyone, we're releasing a small emergency hotfix regarding fatal errors and crashes, so update your game all. Also, all players affected with a false ban have been unbanned. All right, so there was some really bad issues last night with the new patch. People were just getting automatic bans from servers for some reason. I'm not entirely sure what was going on, but obviously it was fixed very quickly, which is great to see. So the bug fixes that they put in were fix the issue where selling vehicle expansions while attached to vehicles would cause a server crash, where repairing vehicle parts through vicinity icon would cause a client crash, where bicycles could be logged incorrectly in the flying vehicle log. Note, selling inventory attachments will only be possible from service lift for now, okay? Just bear that in mind. Do not sell anything just straight off the car. If you want to sell those inventory attachments, make sure you're on the car lift, okay? So that is pretty much going to be all for the update. As I said, later on today, there will be another video coming out just showing you all the new features and new things that come into Scum with this big patch. But I hope you enjoyed the video as always, and I just want to give a quick shout out to our channel members. Thank you very much for your excellent ongoing support. It's always appreciated. If you want to join them, you can do. Head over to this channel, hit that join button and see what perk suits you best. But if you want to support me in another way, you can do simply by liking, subscribing, and hitting that notification bell. And that way you stay up to date with all the latest Scum news, guides, and even that random stuff I like to get up to sometimes. Until next time, see ya.